Hi, Sarvish. Hey, just want to give you an update here. One suggestion I would make for your model when you're putting your model together is make it real simple. Start with something simple, and get it to work, and then go on to the next step. Add more complexity, add more dimensions to it, and I think you'll get this to work. But two things that kind of stand out here. First of all, your reference geometry. For your guide curves in here, and I added a new guide curve in here, but your old ones, I made construction lines. They're not continuous. You need to make sure your guide curves are all continuous between all the profiles, front and back. So what I did is I put my spline in here. I put all your guide curves in the background, and I put a continuous spline between each one of these profile points in here, and I put that together. So with that said, if we go ahead and rebuild this and take a look at all your references in here, you also need to make sure your guide curves intersect your model here, your profiles. So this one doesn't. Your profile just sticks out a little bit further over here, and some of your other profiles either come short or they go beyond it. So you need to make sure your guide curves actually intersect your profiles. If they don't, it's a definite fail. It'll always fail on you. So what I did is I'm going to go ahead and hide your reference geometry. I put in my sketch 1 down here. I'm going to go ahead and show that. And what I did is put in some new guide curves in here, and I'll go ahead and open that up and show you what it is. It's just a simple spline starting with that point, and then I put a point in here. I just actually put it in on the side. So let's go ahead and just delete one of these, and I'll show you what I did. So a spline, I'm going to start over here, and not going to put it on it, but I'm going to put it close. I'm going to put another point over here, then a last point over here, and then do escape, get you out of that. And we're going to take each one of these points, we're going to make it intersect the model. So with the control key to press, that point and that profile, we're going to do a pierce relationship here. That point and this profile with the control key to press, we're going to do pierce there. And then finally this one and that profile, we're going to do pierce here. And that should make it fully defined because the geometry below that is in place, and it should fully define itself. So once you do that, now we have our two guide curves that we could use. We can go ahead and rebuild this and go into the loft. Now, there's one thing about your profiles here is that these, at the very end of your profiles, you have a very, very, very small little vertical line in here. And when you do your loft, it's not going to like that. It's going to fail on you. I mean, you almost have a 0 dimension in here to define that distance here. So you need to make these a little bit bigger. And it's also going to fail on your surface loft too if you try to thicken it. So you're going to have to make your model, again, make them real simple, make them predictable from one profile to the other, and I think it'll work out for you. So let's go ahead and rebuild that. And let's do a surface loft. So we go up to surfaces. It works just like the regular loft, except it doesn't put any substance in the middle. It's just like an envelope in a way. So lofted surface, our profiles, we're going to go ahead and click on each one of these profiles. Now, it does the first two okay, but when we get to the third one, as you know, it doesn't like that. But what we can do is go to our guide curves. We're going to go ahead and click this guide curve. It's suggesting a single rather than it's suggesting an open loop rather than a closed loop. And so we're going to go to the green check mark here. We're going to click on this guy and open loop over here, and you can see it does resolve itself. So again, it has no thickness to it, but it does resolve itself. So if you go to the green check mark and spin that around a little bit, and I took your real view graphics here and I turned it off because it's kind of distorting otherwise. So you can see it all the way through it. So now the last step is to try to thicken this thing, and it doesn't work very well because you've got a very, very narrow little vertical line down here that you need to resolve, make that a little bit bigger perhaps. But the way you do that is you go to thicken command. It's just going to take your envelope and add some substance to it. I did get it to work for the thicken, for the midplane, for both sides and the thicken. But if you click on that and go to the green check mark, that works. But if you have to put in a very small dimension in here too. So see if that works. So it doesn't like that. Again, you have to resolve this endpoint down here. Yeah, so some of these are not going to work. In fact, none of them may not work. I got it to work for me once. Okay, that one works if we're going to thicken on the outside. But it does kind of give you geometry that doesn't quite look right, and you may not like its results. So it added a little bit of substance to it, but I think if you went down over here and changed that profile down here and added some elements to it, It doesn't even look like a lofted down there, but you're going to have to make your profiles a little bit simpler. Get the profile to work, get the loft to work when you put those together with the guide curves, and then add complexity from there is about the only advice I can give you there. Okay, good luck.